Hi, I'm Lee Bush, and I'm sitting here chatting it up with prominent businessman and spokesperson for HIV awareness and basketball legend, Mr. Earvin Magic Johnson. We're inside one of his Magic Theaters here in Los Angeles. Magic, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you for asking. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you.
So Magic, you are part owner of the Lakers. You're a prominent businessman, we all know this. Father of 3, husband, CEO of a major charitable organization, and spokesperson for HIV and AIDS awareness. With such a heavy schedule, how do you balance being the business person, the family man, and still find time for being an advocate for HIV and AIDS, and then manage your own HIV?
Well, I think, Leah, I know I have a lot going on, but the most important thing is that I do manage my disease, and it enables me to then do all the other things. You know, I make sure I take my meds. I make sure that I try to get some form of exercise. It enables me to also be a businessman once I manage my HIV.
You're such a strong advocate for HIV awareness. Was it difficult to become so vocal about it?
No, you know, it's almost like I became the poster child. And I embraced it. I embraced the fact that I was the person who could get out and talk about HIV and AIDS. Before I announced, remember, you didn't talk openly about HIV and AIDS. Now, when you think about it, we can actually hold a conversation anywhere, whether you're at a game, whether you're at dinner, about HIV and AIDS, and you couldn't do that, 15 years ago.
You know what, Magic? Your name is practically synonymous with basketball. You will forever be known as one of the greatest athletes in the world. But due to your illness, you had to retire from basketball. How difficult was that?
Well, harder than I could probably explain to you, because it's been the game that I love.
From childhood?
From childhood, and that's all I've done my whole life. And I love to compete. I love to win. I love the thrill of the chase of trying to chase that championship. And all of a sudden, in one day, that was gone. And I had to make a decision on whether to try to play or retire. And I thought that I could manage my disease better if I decided to retire.
How did you happen to get tested for HIV in the first place?
Well, what happened is we have our normal physical for the Lakers. And that particular physical was also done by an insurance company as well as by the Laker medical staff. So when the insurance company tested my blood, that's when they found out.
What went through your mind when you were told you had HIV?
It took me a couple hours just to pick myself off the floor, because you go from really being on top of the basketball world to receiving this devastating news. And so, but my real thought was really on my wife and my baby at that time, because Cookie was pregnant with our son EJ.
Mm-hmm.
And I had played against Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Lee. I thought the hardest thing I had to do in my life was to play basketball against them.
Little did you know.
Yeah, the hardest thing I've ever had to do was to go home and tell my wife I had HIV. When you're talking about any disease, and when you're talking about HIV, and what people don't realize is that it affects everybody that you love, not just yourself. It affects everybody that you love and everybody that loves you. And so, and that care about you. So when I walked through the door after driving home from my doctor's office, one thing about somebody that loves you, or your wife or your spouse, they know something wrong before you even say it.
You're really connected.
Yes, it was already all over my face. So I told her I had something to talk to her about, and took her in the room, and I just began to tell her somehow that I had HIV. And to see her start crying, and just so much pain on her face, it was very difficult for me to handle. And then she asked about herself and the baby, which I could not answer at that time. And so that was also tough. And then I just told her I would understand if she wanted to leave me.
Right. We all know what she did.
Yeah, she hit me upside my head so
Like a
hard.
black woman would do every time, baby, every time. We don't play with that now. Come on.
But the greatest moment was she said, "We're gonna beat this together," and I think that that has been the case.
So, Magic, we talked a lot about managing your HIV. Let's talk a little bit about your medicine and the treatment that you're on. When did you start taking Kaletra?
I started taking Kaletra over 5 years ago, and it's really been a great part of my regimen. And you know, it's funny, when I first started taking Kaletra as a part of my regimen, they had those 6 orange capsules, and I'm talking about big. And I was so happy that now they introduced these yellow ones, and you only have to take 4 of them.
Oh, okay.
Instead of 6 of the orange capsules, you only have to take 4 as a part of my regimen.
So, what has your experience been on Kaletra?
I can still exercise. I can still, I still work and have a long day in the office. And I think that the medicine has really been good for me. And so, again, I want everybody to always talk to their doctor, because that's the most important thing here.
And see which is best for them.
See what's best for them, as well as can they work out, or how much can they work out?
Yeah.
Because everybody is different.
What's the best thing about Kaletra, in your opinion?
Well, I think now the best thing about Kaletra is the fact that it's easier to take, and you don't have to take it with food. You know, the old Kaletra, you had to refrigerate it.
Okay.
Now this one, the new yellow ones, you don't have to do that.
So, Magic, you said that your Kaletra regimen has been effective for you. Does that mean you're undetectable now, and is that important to you or not?
Well, the good thing is that Kaletra is a part of my regimen, and for 5 years I have been undetectable. So I just hope that that continues.
Is it important to keep taking your meds even if you're feeling fine?
Once you're doing good and you're taking your meds, and you know everything is rolling for you and it's going good, you got to continue to take them. Don't stop. We've had a lot of problems with people doing so well, and because they've done so well, they stop taking their meds. Don't ever do that. Continue to take them because you want to continue to do well.
So, Magic, people think that you're on some kind of super secret medication that only rich folks can get. Is there any truth to that at all?
It's really been funny because when I go speak, they think I'm gonna tell them something that I'm on some drug that they never heard of or something, and it's really funny, you know. And so when I explain to them what's part of my regimen, they're like, "We thought you was on something different," you know.
Because you're Magic.
See, they think Magic don't have the same problems as them, and I want them to understand I do have the same problems. I do get pill fatigue sometimes, but what keeps me going is I look up and I have a beautiful wife. I have 3 children, and I want to be here a long time. I often speak to so many people who first get diagnosed with HIV. They all call me, or their mothers, or their fathers, or their uncles, and I talk to them.
That's probably going to make a big difference.
Because it's important. You know, Elizabeth Glazier talked to me. I probably wouldn't be sitting here without her, because at that time she was the only person I knew that had HIV and AIDS, or HIV. And so I called her up, and I went over and talked to her. And she said, you know, you got to go public. She said, look, you have to be the one who gets out here and tell the world about HIV. You have to be the one to educate other people about it.
Well, you have a big mission, but it's one that I think you definitely can handle. So
it is a big mission, but you know, when you work with companies like Abbott, they're really helping get me out there so I can deliver the message. And I think that that's what's important about them, is that, you know, we're giving back, we're making sure that the word is out there, and that's what's wonderful about working with Abbott.
How would you sum this up? I mean, how has having HIV changed your life?
You're gonna have the same good times. You're gonna, you know, go to the movies. You know, they think it's gonna be a drastic change in their life in terms of if one of them are living with HIV and the other one's not, or something. And what we tell them, we just live a normal life, just like
you just take medicine.
Yeah, we just take medicine. we still go out and dance. We still have a good time. You know, we go to take our kids to school. You know, it's a
Go on
normal life.
vacation.
And we tell them that. It's just normal. It's nothing really changes other than you're taking medicine.
Right.
That's it.
I
And you're
think there is a big
managing
fear.
your disease. And but we tell them that if you continue to have a normal relationship, it's going to help that person, whoever's living, or both, if they're living with HIV, it's going to help them out a lot, especially their frame of mind.
It's been such a pleasure talking with
All
you,
right,
Magic. Thanks for taking time out of your very busy schedule. I'm sure everyone watching is inspired to do more. So talk with your doctor and go to Kaletra.com to learn more about Kaletra and Magic Johnson. Kaletra is accessible to all patients regardless of insurance coverage and income level. So be sure to ask your doctor for more information.